are suing your former employer, Mrs. Yang, for $3,200. It was a month of wages that she did not pay you.
Yes.
Because you were under contract.
Yes.
From what I understand, you were the nanny for the family for about 4 years. Is that correct? About 4 years. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So just explain why we're here today.
I'm here today because I'm suing my former employer, Tracy, because she did not pay me for my last of work, which was $3,200.
Okay.
I was a nanny for her for 4 years. I took care of her children, the house. I cooked for them, I cleaned for them, cared for the kids, loved the kids, and she fired me and did not pay me for the last month of work.
Okay. Why did she fire you?
Because I was having an affair with her husband, Stephen.
Okay. So did you work the full month that you are suing for?
Yes.
Okay. So she fired you, what, at the end of the month when she found out?
She fired me at the end of the month. That's the same day when I told her about the affair.
Okay.
And she
Afei deɛ mote me nka yie deɛ mote me nka a abusuafoɔ mote me nka moma me nhu sister wa wote me nka mepakyɛ moma me nhu why na mensan nhyɛ audio no ase ebie mu ɛwɔ ha abusuafoɔ mote me nka moma me nhu mesrɛ mo a moma me nhu mesrɛ mo a meba I mean go back na me play na me listen to me you know what so na me hwɛ okay
Suing your former employer, Miss Yang, Mrs. Yang, for $3,200. It was a month of wages that she did not pay you.
Yes.
Because you were under contract.
Yes.
You, from what I understand, you were the nanny for the family for about 4 years. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So just explain why we're here today.
I'm here today because I'm suing my former employer, Tracy, because she did not pay me for my last month of work, which was $3,200.
All right. Let's talk TV. Mitie me, you know, it looks as if say ade ne back kama. Okay. Also say mutai musisi dia mote. Okay. My main begin. I mean, it doesn't hurt to begin the whole thing. Enti mumame and begin sisi waha. Okay. So the woman is mame the woman is lady ede ne former employer akọ your friend is saying court akọ siu no. Nti die nti a osiu no no eno ho asem na mepese yetie na nkanti moma me start na me mo no foforo na yensan enhyase ntie okay
Your former employer, Miss Yang, Mrs. Yang, for $3,200. It was a month of wages that she did not pay you.
Yes.
Because you were under contract.
Yes.
You, from what I understand, you were the nanny for the family for about 4 years. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So just explain why we're here today.
I'm here today because I'm suing my former employer, Tracy, because she did not pay me for my last month of work, which was $3,200.
Okay.
I was a nanny for her for 4 years. I took care of her children, the house. I cooked for them. I cleaned for them.
okay my main person wa ha Fifi Bands me chiao Leslie me chiao pa said ye medical acheche mu no I mean utimi ye adwuma ema obi na wonya 4 years that means say we make us a good worker quote in code so what you say wadwuma ya so ani age watomu oye nani ohefie but you for some reason ebi amuntumi enhwe fie yie unu kunu nyina ena makohan obi a oye nani ena ohefie mamo and also what ni boss which is Tracy ya odaso yi afire no ofire no ni last month sika no wa amfa sika na ama no wa twe na ena akọwie se no on person this can be man into ordinary court into the court proceedings no ena me pese ye hwe ade wa ha na etie na ye hwe de ekoso mpatcho
Cared for the kids, loved the kids, and she fired me and did not pay me for the last month of work.
Okay. Why did she fire you?
Because
aha na mse me pese mutie ni ye ya busa ne se denti ne fire awo muntie ha ye mpatcho
I was having an affair with her husband, Stephen.
Okay. So did you work the full month that you are suing for?
Yes.
Okay. So she fired you, what, at the end of the month when she found out?
She fired me at the end of the month. That's the same day when I told her about the affair.
Okay.
And she told me to pack up my stuff right away. And then I left the home. I had nowhere to
Are you shocked
go.
that you got fired?
I mean, it wasn't a surprise for me.
Okay, it shouldn't have been a surprise.
It
I mean, I
wasn't.
know it takes two to tango, two people to have an affair, but you were a trusted person in the house to be there to take care of their children and of the family. So that is a huge violation of trust. So I probably would have done the same thing and let her go.
So me question me person me busa wa ha achefo amotie me ba kono say I mean say woyɛ wohwɛ lady yi a ogyina hɔ yi a ɔyɛ nani na sɛ wo so wɔ ɔbarima wɔ fie woyɛ ɔbaa wɔ ɔbarima wɔ fie na wopɛ obi ama no ahwɛ nkɔlaa a, beside being a professional so wobɛkɔ akɔfa professional no, would you say with things all being equal no we decide sɛ ɔbɛkɔ akɔfa lady no anaa because this lady is not somebody a wobɛtumi aka kyerɛ me sɛ wode ne ba bɛtena fie whilst a ebia wonni fie na aka wɔ ne wo kunu ati fie. Wontumi consider certain obi a probably ɔyɛ a little bit pani kakra a sɛbi mprɛduasa ne ho nyɛ wo kunu akɔnɔ because from looking at boss lady no any lady a ɔno yɛ nani no mehwɛ na asɛ ɔbɛyɛ younger kakra as a boss lady no. Sometimes na ya na ema no minim say ya na nsɔhwɛ na ya na mo pese mo so mema no mo so yɛ hwede a I really don't know but me your bank amenye saa just to let you know.
Let you go. So you did ask her for that month of wages that you did work.
Correct.
Why did you not pay Mrs. Yang? She did work for the month. Why didn't you pay her for those wages?
Your Honor, it's very difficult for me to be in your courtroom right now. I recently lost the love of my life and the father of my 2 young children.
So the bear money in question no yeah boss lady no ekunu no wawu. As of the time a omo gina court dem ho a omo kasa no na bear no awu. Boss lady no is referring to Nikununi said the love of my life. I mean, I'm building a case be here, but my pase we very careful now with you. Or refer and say, oh, yeah, the love of the life. What did they make you say? Okay. Wawu ena omujina koto omudisa asemwe. Yenti nkoso.
I treated Josie like she was family, and now I feel completely betrayed by her. And
So your husband passed away?
yeah, he passed away of a heart attack, and
I'm so sorry to hear that.
thank you. I feel not only betrayed because I mean I'm totally confused, and
I mean, why would you be confused? Why do you feel say you've been betrayed? So what I'm saying is, as much as you need a professional to come in, and this is not kind of an office job. Being what I say, you are hiring somebody to come and live in your house to say obeshe uma at the amount. Beside this, we oba and our kohai oba ama oni ukunu nyina or share ufie no with ukunu. Besides all on the paper now, obehweso say, okay, I see this person as a professional. No, I also my looks so because you should be threatened by the looks of the person. I also consider nipa no age to begin with because probably maybe ana lady a ojina hɔ obewo ebia yensa fancy 40 years cry. Obekwa akofo obi a owo roughly 30 and 28 and I say wakosoro na 35 or na bibisa. First of all, no, or you're younger than you. And if physique na ejina ho no probably no ebia na ne honam na ekuta no wo de na aye odu kakra sen ne de no. Because from the way I me hwe na ne gina ho na me hwe me nkasa ne ho ofesen no. But wode ne wode namo kwa akosi sebo animu Emmanuel for yima mechiao. Wouldn't namo kwa kusisi bwenim. And as I would the aduane e kwa kusi obi anim. What was would it dear kono and eba. I mean, so be they're making motimas, but I'm just trying to make a point here. Because you are going to invite somebody to come into your home and live with you and live with your husband. Nani nijina hono bibi mu won ho, but beside that na krampo na won ho, just look at him. Make say ne ho first sin boss lady no. But here we are talking about Bema ewofie hobi. Say office na o say oh hire command office na omunya yi a. Ho de na I understand, but this is the situation or da fie ho one omano air bonde at the same time no one ukunu ni nso so san ye bonding. So nipa bi a wanyini say wo boss lady a wogina hoi ne nke bi o wona nim a efan say na ho ofane so ate kakra eso kofom kakra ne ho no esese ye wo say ese wo hu ni say ne ho nhye de ntimi nya okuna kono yie beside the professional background now. I'm talking truth here. All right, yankoso.
Now she's saying that I breached our contract when she's the one who's breached the contract for a year. She's been having the affair.
But I worked for that whole
I
month.
don't feel I owe her anything.
Okay. All right. Is that it? That's all you guys have to say?
I just wanted to say,
I have a copy of the employment contract.
yes.
Is there anything else, Ms. Yang, that you want to give me or say?
Well,
or-
yeah, I mean, if she would just read the contract, it says in the contract that you're supposed to behave in a professional manner.
Yes,
And
on the contract, it also said that you're supposed to pay me the last day of the
Or say contract no e wo mu say you supposed to behave in a professional manner. Me question me busa ni say adwuma no na wanye ne yi ana anase se de e ba say one ukunu dan na wahu ni say that wasn't professional. Can we separate the word professional no, can we separate the affair no from na adwuma obeye ya na? Because what if ho man can who's what if ho be. All right.
month that I worked.
Was it
of
professional?
$3,200.
Is it a
It was in a sense where I take care of your children
but
and I
sleeping with
cleaned
my
the house and I cooked
husband,
for everyone.
sleeping with my husband nullifies all of that because that's unprofessional behavior.
But that did not stop me from loving and caring for your kids.
I don't believe I'm here.
Sir, wohu baby a nani no project na you know eba. Or say me care and me love it okay na dear and the opposite relegate sa aspect no. You didn't put that one into consideration. Wa care manabroso. Nani na care too much ago beyond love and care no. Care and love my kids not dear and no dear. You are allowed to do that. But care and love my husband there and not there. Yeah, I'm far closer to him. So the questions were the I think he said the contract was supposed to be say it's like a black and white. Say, hey, if you are young, my husband, you don't have to touch my husband regardless of anything. I don't think he said that very close or not. Musa or the bear Musa. On there. These are some of the stars that sometimes, so we'll draw or clause for somebody to come and sign for you involving a relationship, but we forget to put it in. You don't need to trust everybody, regardless of ethnicity, professionalism that the person is. I know, say Leslie, Leslie, the other, I love you, crack, okay, because I know the comments and the day out, but I love it. I really, really love it, Leslie. Okay, yes, I was saying, it doesn't matter with some men. Look at the woman Arnold Schwarzenegger cheated on his wife with. That lady was very old, way older than his wife, and not attractive than Arnold's wife, but the time she found out they had children together. So men are men. It takes the grace of God. Leslie. Leslie, the who say, and Gabriel Kran and Kokofa, no, the nebetna if you honor one, can you the uncle? Leslie, I think you say, and Kaya Brewa, and ka attraction no be a little bit less sakakra. What must I mean? Enipa sɛn na yɛte wɔ mo nka anaasɛ cases sɛn na yɛte whereby a ne na ne yɛ aberewa na yɛhu sɛ still a yɛ a na bɛrima no ɛne ne na ne no da so hyehyɛ hɔ ntaa nsi mmom no we always hear sɛ wokɔfa obi a ɔyɛ young wokɔfa obi a sɛbi ɔyɛ ayi a ɛnyɛ den a wobɛhu sɛ bɛrima n'ani ɛyɛ den ɛkɔ akɔdi akyire because sɛ wofɔ sɛ wakɔfa obi a ɔyɛ younger than wo na de na bɛfie. Anyway, let's move on.
Your house organized and clean so that you come to your home with a clean environment.
Okay. And did you find out about the affair Miss Way told you after his death?
She told me 2 days after he passed away about this affair. She told me the day of his burial. I couldn't believe my ears. I was mortified, and I don't believe that she's pregnant with my husband's.
Me bacho otie husband na wawu no. Se lady ya ojina hwe eye other lady ya nani nyem. Onyem. Na ade ba kwa I was so shocked and he said the nanny no onye smart. Se wanyem. Wanka ho hwe ama bema no awu. Owu wie ye da ye ba besie no no. Eho na akoka kire ne yere ne se woni ne nyem. You might have as well say nanka also this idea we ehye because or tiase no na na e say nka wo mani hunu say this is what's going on. Wa ma na hu wawu awie na yi ase a ye sie no no. That is where you are going to declare this. What were you thinking? That is a poor judgment. And not yes idea no.
Because she had a lot of boyfriends. I mean, we became good friends. She told me she was dating around a lot. So I had many.
They were not my boyfriends.
That's not what she told me.
What
They
did
were
she
just
tell you?
dates.
She told me she had multiple boyfriends. And so now I don't know what to believe.
Coming up on Justice for All.
What am I supposed to do? Just not tell her? And I don't even have a job
you
right
wait
now.
the time. You wait the time when it's the appropriate time. You don't do it on the day that her husband is being buried and said, by the way, I had an affair with your husband, I'm pregnant with this kid.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and
What am I supposed to do? Just not tell her? And I don't even have a job.
Why pick the day that when she's burying her husband?
I just couldn't hold it anymore. Stephen and I, we were in love. We spent a lot of time together.
This is really agonizing situation for boss lady no. Say boss lady no when I started and as I kind and said the love of my life. And here is another oba wanyem ama ukunu ukunu na wu kase Stephen and I na me ni nipa we were in love. I mean I when it gets to this point I understand where a yerenom getting so betrayed this kind of situation anymore. Because a yerenom susu say na omo de omakoma ene omo life nyina no omo do ama kununum they think said they are the only people as a senka a kununum do more, but Here's the situation now. A different lady, a professor ne love also for the same ekunu wo de wo love amano no. I too agonizing. Especially where papa na wu ontumi Emma wo eyere no hunu senka papa ne begina wachi na waka say hey me anwano na bia say ni wa support wo hu de bia the real love na e bia kunu no wo ma wo no. So what you say, here is the situation awu. So it is so hard for you to comprehend. You keep asking different questions. You say, why did this happen? What did I do? Where did I go wrong? As I share program no mun share kakra Leslie mun share wo mai so emame. Obogu nana mechia wo pa. Nana memo abam. Me pese me de ayi no ekokusi. Me si wi a meje calls na chese wabam bi nana me da sese wo hwe e wo ha no mo pa. So what you say? Nana ede ne lawyer asem kakra ebebam. Nana misraw ya na de lawyer kakra beche asem we achi amame. Mamen kan Leslie say very unprofessional in everything. The timing to tell she's pregnant, she's very delusional. Telling the wife they were in love. Hey, Leslie, what told Domu? I mean, what told Domu is it's something where Ojina Hono. Yasipa. Example ho, it seems seriously. There are serious and semi ACC. All right. Yan kosunti, Mr. Mo.
And Tracy was away to work, and Stephen and I, we were living in the same, under the same roof, and me and the kids and Stephen, it was really like a family. I think
Sa afede mati ne pato, Mr. Mo. Leslie, I want you to also know, say, or a human being. What feely, what tena fee where the 4 years, or what feely say, or a part of the family, not did that. By raising the kids, giving affection to the kids. So utimi enya affection de ma enkwala na. Moreover, kra wasan enya affection bi de ama wo woman you so sasan aka ho. Enti what is ontimi nya affection for ne kunu na na. Wose ohuni se oye family. Wo obayi no utu kwan. Utututu kwan. Enti na make say there's a difference between say work aye na adwuma mu ewe officer ye kone aba ene se ukọ high obi se wo metena wo fie ukọ hired ukọ fa aduane de free outside aba besi ukunanim se oni enye wo waduane eye obi aduane na akọfa de besi ukunanim se oni menka se kofa de enye. But then you have to be circumspect here because your ba na akọ han no ama na betena fie abeka ukunu ho. You're going to hire somebody omehwe ufie one exclude bibia wo wose wosiesie fie ho or tidy up prapra enu aduane eye bibia enti emotional support nyina no the man kwala no or love nkwala no emotional support nyina she gave to the nkwala no it drains no because probably ebia you boss lady you are never in the scene probably papa no ehia those emotional support na obenya waka e de akere wo. I don't want us to be on one side that I understand the boss lady. Mejitumpa. But here is the case. Wankasa na wabie wo pono. And na wawo ukuno. Yen men dear, we are always there. Men will be men. Papa bi a one ne yere nam. Ena yebusa na yere no se na mame mpacho wo ne papa tena yi. Wo fa na chida. Wasi debi na se ne se na nka nya aware o na nka we de se nka nya aware me debi aware na me ware ne de me ware me kunu ayi teza akwa no so busa ne se na Papa now so e wa for ire chi da catch akwan say hey wagimi oho enye oba no na wabusa na asem a o ka kire wo se bibia ye kama na me a wo ba bebusa na se me de me ye bema so what ya so se me de me ye bema so eti edru ba bia when you are your oba na say act alongside these things first of all you have to be extra smart in your decision making when hiring oba foforo say omre wo fie na omhwe nkwala ma wo abra wo kunu wo Angelina Michiao, when you are doing these things, you need to be extra. You can't extra. Go on the level. Go on extra. Manuma be enye enjimao. Remember, you cannot predict us. You cannot trust us. Me a bema and I make kasa. Mekacha was said, don't. Wona wo de ukunu so wo ne ho ne chese odo wo sedien kra don't trust ukunu love na wo de wo ma wo no don't trust it at the back of your mind no fatu wa adwene mu say bibia betimi asi so you're not going to add to that temptation one kasa mwa masa temptation no ensi but je miye pa wo mwa masa temptation no ensi okay yento aso
him a justice, telling Tracy the truth.
But you don't think there's anything wrong with you two having an affair and violating?
I was surprised about catching say oh Jet Tracy need justice say about catching it through the man is dead. Well, so what kind of justice now or do you think say why didn't you keep quiet and just sit down there and keep continue working? You busawa I was say enye papa nemba. Enye papa nemba wonyem enye papa nemba. Uguso awo ye wadwuma. Uju sika. Den na betimi a kire se maame ne ono ane kan nti somehow no na meka se nani ni so wonye smart
Single promise that you promised this family?
Having an affair wasn't right. I mean, I'm not proud of that. But I also wanted to find the love of my life. And I think Stephen was the man I wanted to live with.
And as I said,
hey ade a ye frɛ no ɔdɔ pa se ka se ɔdɔ ba enipa jimi a chale different jimi na jimi o when ɔdɔ no tisi wuso a especially a man no I'm sorry to say but ɔdɔ no tisi wo mo so a minim nyansa dodo a obɛka kyerɛ wo mo a most sometimes e wo begye adie se ewura na se ejamukura o de ntiba akwhye in se ose eyodo. How can you say obi a waware a ya befa o se wo ye nani? How can you say ni bema ne the love of your life? I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Nana said the nanny is smart. Maybe she was going through a psychiatric trauma or psychotic trauma. Oh, sir, Nana sana uhuno. All right, it drew so out them Mr. Frame. Namami hunu. How smart? I don't think he said this was a smart decision. I don't think so. This is smart. Psychological trauma being now cost and what exactly were you? Sikana open was $3,200 and na all pay free. Mami ho as a payment yam farmer no ni last month. And nipa na nkasa woni na nyem na wu awie wo. I mean, let's think about it this way. And nipa na woni no wo no anyem wonyem wo no awu. Mami no wasn't aware. And na wakobo who did they say because of some pesika nti sika no ankasa no how long are you is it gonna sustain you for? Then when decide say oh be keep this matter no to yourself once a be man ewu ni dear. For you to go ahead and work e bianka maame no kra betimi aboa wo ama wawo awie aye bibia awie ansa na abeka anka waka mwa na obenya no wanya awie. Let's say, but you can't erase someone's home erase someone's home existence and make it your own. The man is married, period. No ifs. Maybe Nanny said it because she wanted to connect and see if there is a will so she can have the money or whatever it is for her baby too. Okay, what point? By the way, young continue into asama judge and kind. Young continue. I mean, sorry, sir. May pause back and forth, but let's try to go. And I say, if the man has properties, let's consider child in the womb. Okay, Yentinko.
Or it takes two to have an affair, but you cheated with a married man in his own house, in front of his wife,
Yep.
in front of his own kids, the children that you were entrusted to care for. And you don't think that's unprofessional and completely against the contract that you promised, that you signed, that you promised to do?
When I signed the contract, I didn't think I would fall in love with Steven.
What you say? Or say all sign contract, na onimu se obe fall in love. In other words, the boss lady now find she said, don't come and fall in love with my husband. Probably no, if it was in written, black and white, say, hey, me de wo ba fie ha. Wajumadi ni say, keep out of my husband. Anka that will register something e woni trimu. Ntina make say there are no bi o hono na say yeah. Yem consider all options. Utie. Ade no can be good. And no bi o hono it can be so good to us. But consider the other negative part of it options. For me experience akra menya na wo wiase no. The negative no cry to me happen more than positivity. Utie. Ewiase na ye wo no. Enioma a eye negative no cry ta sisin ade aye positive. Ask yourself say for our own life for your example. A day positive nioma na one can about probably your life. E musan e na eba mu negativity sen na aba. How many times were you rejected than accepted? Ewo he. Eti we as a human being we tend to forget say ye negative no ta sisen positive no ye forget it. Obia ye bibia. Sometimes ubon say ordinary to say oh we there say ye ebe ye nyankopon especially sorry my mom pa ebe ye nyankopon ti be ye ebe ye they forgot say the negative part no cry more percentage wise no cramp now say the negative about 60% to happen than 40% of positivity. So what you say it is ye nya that mind na ebema ya ye proactive ebema ya ka say oh ade we de nipa ya wo ba ni hu nya fe o ba yo tie ni o na ni ya me kofa na ma na ba me life mu no ne hu nya fe o anase we de nya de a me kurukura bepe na emumu no I'm not leaving any your friend is saying stone unturned. I have to be able to say me de clause beto ho say okay me ba be fa wo o be ye adwuma de ama me na emumu no make sure say me kunu is out of your friend saying your rich area me kunu enka sabi ayi ne ho enti it doesn't matter how a me kunu probably no obeto so ntu dia se den da me hu say yi koso no this is what I'll need to do. Now say let's have in mind that in common law adultery is not a crime irrespective of where the incident took place. Gifty me ciao, Gifty Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, I know. Nana, I know. But entina na me busa say judge na or judges asem way no. The way we see judge no. Oh yeah, dear. Because at the end of the day no, me pese muhu senior judge no ede asem no ekokosi ye minim se ho ne baya but me pa cho mon hodi o ma me kakra. Pese ye hu senior ade no ekokosi ye. And then you decide to me, will you call me and tell me say judge no ne kwaswa na your friend is saying or odi ye no eye ne kwaso ana say nye ne kwaso. Eti let's continue to listen to this. Yenkoso na yentie.
I never thought I would sleep
Have
with
you
a married
guys,
man.
did you ever hear something about willpower, about quitting? I mean, did you guys think about, did you two talk about that? Because while I know Stephen is not here with us, it's just as much as his fault, but you're the only person that's here now.
I thought about it, but after I told Stephen,
And you don't think that was lying to Mrs. Yang, to somebody who called you a friend? You don't, what do you think is going to happen when her two daughters find out in the future?
I think it's a judge no Emma the emotions set in here rather than being objective. No, I thought say she was being subjective here. Kan ye kan misraw nani ne nyimo onyem.
Her dad passed away, and their nanny that they loved and grew up with for 4 years was having an affair with her dad. Have you ever thought the effect that two girls are going to feel? I can tell by your face it's no.
Stephen also said we would start our own family.
And don't you think everything you're
Nana wo who say me catch her say nani no yes smart in a sense say minim say eye odona awurawura no na ama na adwene aye ne saa o. I mean it can happen. Say Abia Stephen no are promising or whatever the promise that it was promised to her. But this is somebody's husband that we are talking about here. Obi ekunu ena o make promises to you. Obi kunu ena o make promises to you. I see the point of view no so in a sense say truly to the worst and so they be a no cre Stephen no develop the laugh for no because the boss lady yeah that she is never there to listen to Stephen, you know, it needs and an emotional yeah or come probably he wasn't there. Ebia nana ni so to me abonde with enkolano. Ama Stephen na hunu say the way I was seeing me mano crampo ye no. I think he said one me mano wo ayonkofa one omu wo intimacy be done. Omo ankasa crampo e de ben. Mame. So what I say more than probably no omo mame. Yenkoso.
so horrible. I mean, I just would have walked away without payment. The person she trusted to take care of her family violated, her and her husband violated her trust in her family by having an affair under her roof for 1 full year. Then you have the lack of decency to tell her on the day you're burying him because you couldn't take it anymore. You didn't even think about her and her daughters, but you couldn't take it anymore. So you had to fess up, and you tell her when her husband passes away, you didn't even think about her and her feelings and her daughter's feelings. You didn't think about Stephen's family. You only thought about yourself, and that's it. You don't think that's wrong?
What am I supposed to do? Just not tell her? And I don't even have a job
you
right
wait
now.
the time. You wait the time to tell her when it's the appropriate time. You don't do it on the day that her husband dies and fesses up that her husband is being buried and said, by the way, I had an affair with your husband, I'm pregnant with this kid. And you don't have a job. I'm sorry you don't have a job. But that's something you did on your own. When are you due?
I worked consistently as a nanny.
I know, but when are you due? When are you going to have the baby?
I'm 6 months, and so another 3 months. And that's why I'm suing her. A part of it is because I really need this money. And she's well off.
Just because she's well off doesn't mean she has to.
So the nanny no is saying say or catch the mammy no on the user as a mammy was scanty. Of course, a mammy betua a bit me your friend is saying 3,400 or say 3,200 and mammy was scanty a bit me but if I been so mete a judge and I say one consider the mammy feeling and so here. This case is really complicated to tackle when you're playing devil's advocate like I'm doing right now. Let's continue. Ebese me mani si said be ati for musum besi aba mu bi mu. Gifty we there sorry me mana si anti si na se obefra na wafre. Me de si wi a na me pa choma frɛ. Why? Me share ma. Me mama kasa. Nti me share mo say you just stay on for us to listen to the whole conversation, to the end answer, Mr. Remo.
For something.
No, it doesn't, but I did work for the whole month.
I understand that. Let's talk about the word professional, because I had to really analyze the word professional in the contract that you signed, and you signed. I have a copy. You gave me the original. You must act professional. So if I hire a caterer to come and have a party at my house, and I put a clause saying you must be professional all the time. What is the job of that caterer? The job of that caterer is to be professional. May I please give you this? May I take your plate? So that is professional for that position, right? When I looked at this contract for a live-in nanny where you had different responsibilities, taking care of the girls, cooking, assisting, because I understand you did have a housekeeper, but you assisted in the cooking, the cleaning, taking care of the girls, taking care of the family, serving in different roles for the girls, and assisting Mrs. Yang. What is professional? Maintaining a good demeanor, being kind, following instructions well. I would imagine not stealing, not lying, not putting the girls at jeopardy, and not having an affair. That to me is perfectly reasonable. To require a nanny to be professional is not to have an affair with my husband.
Coming up,
This has never happened before. I never slept with.
Looking at a situation of fact pattern, inherently we would want somebody who's going to take care of our children to behave ethically. Having an affair with your boss is not, it's not something that's professional. It's not something that should be part of a nanny's job. It's the most important job a working woman's going to have, or a woman that stays at home. It's one of those things.
May find it a little bit kind of in the sense to say I don't see the reason why judge doesn't consider probably the emotional to a be idea or the man and colano and papano. Why is the judge not telling a woman say mammy kunewu? As a moment, I see nanny na onyemono cry say or a more kind of or dear more than my men cry in a sense. Say we will be a wawu wune obianyam to begin with. Nipa krono ewu kwan a wo befa so ahwe wo mma no akwala na a oba no kra you don't know. So how come say judge it looks as to me say as a judge it's not telling mama no anything say this is whereby I won't so no nanka e wo se hu say nipa na wo de na betena ho ade a wo ye yinti e ma okunu anikodi nani na chi ene na go to extend they say onyem no because maame no aye obi a ohwe ade oye very vigilant ni ade a ade na koso 1 year no she should have been able to notice something. It's just like what me who be because what if you hobby. So two things, a couple of things here that say onia daje for ni kuno no, and then the money nyina ono ne de say opiska opiska. So what must say opiska ne de no eno no. Enti amana anya. I mean, what the nani abet na fie hɔ does it mean say what the normal nyina hye ne nsa. Enti ka hu say this can be also part of it. You don't have to lose your guard like that. Emilia Asiedu Michiao, Yentuaso.
Violation of trust, you just, how could she trust you to be a nanny in any other way? If she can't fundamentally trust you, you're no longer professional, right? So based on that, I will deny your claim. Again, anything else, Mrs. Yang, that you would like to address?
I'd like to know the results of the paternity test.
Well, what are you going to do if it ends up being your husband's child?
Coming up,
I still don't believe she's pregnant with. But
I'm almost done. I'm almost done, Miss Way. I'm almost done.
I still don't believe she's pregnant with his child. I think it's one of her many boyfriends.
You can
could be
check
the
the
father.
results.
Okay, Miss Yang. What if it is your husband's child? You are more seasoned in life. I'm not asking you to accept anything. I'm just asking you. This is a child. What if it is Stephen's child? Do you think your daughters have a right to get to know this child?
Yes.
Do you think that maybe Stephen would want you
To adopt the child and maybe prove that she's an unfit mother.
The problem, Miss Way, is that Stephen is no longer here.
I don't like the word nani no boss lady no ayusuama ni nani no say she's not an unfit mother. For heaven's sake, wa ma for 4 years. Wa continuous 4 years. Wanya bibia anka about mano. Wanka se omo treaty mano. On wanka se bina no se wa love and colano dearly to the heart. Let's remove the aspect of say no kunu I have an affair. Ama enyima bam. Consider the professional job na wa no fi hode ama wono. I know say sleeping with your husband no probably makes not unprofessional. That is fine. But did she do a good job? Judge not denying sikana I was here the lady no. Which to me no, I believe we said we should have separate because there wasn't and I can say or mom fa any clear cut indication black and white letter must say this is the document I was sign yes say my husband is a no go area. The kadisika de me misusu se nka osa ke de ni sika ma no. Yang hwensi na afi me mamram.
He can't provide you child support because he's no longer here. What you're going to, if the child is Stephen's, you're going to have to sue the estate of Mr. Yang. And that gets extremely complicated.
Ana aha na me kan say judge no ma ne tia se say owo ho kwan say obesiu the estate of your friend saying man no a wawu ne ne yere no ba ne nso be complicated amano because nipa na wu to begin with. She say no obekwa akwesiu no say me ne ukunu na nyam enti ukunu ajapade no mame bi ajapade no probably no crampo no menye sure say ebia well watan fi 5 6 4 years enti I know say ebia onim say ebia ne kunu ne kan ho ebia obetimi akọ but here is the situation now. Over here scar for that and she came to the court just because of $3,200 or $3,500 into. So I don't think so. Was size can crowd the bakako is you. So I think I said the judge should have at least get the amount of the ahina or kano. As I said, or separate morality from the profession na adwuma na nkasa na girl no be ye no fie ho no. Also separate. Also me kano me start here me say a man bebre is going to go with the boss lady because that is what they think it is. But trust me, sir, when you look at idea no on a diverse, on a different basis, it's not fair. Judge nama the sentiments abem. Or who is saying kamena ya didi mi Kenya made. But here is the case, a juma no be was the ajumana or cast or ben were provided entirely amawana. Yes. So then pay. You fancy.
Extremely complicated. I don't think she's an unfit mother, Mrs. Yang. I'm not condoning what she did. Please understand, I'm not condoning what she did. But it's my job to give a legal remedy. I don't think she's a bad mother. I think she made a horrible life mistake.
Thank you, Your Honor.
By having an affair with your husband. I can't even begin to think how you would feel.
Thank you.
I'm just thinking about this unborn child. Okay?
Judge Perez's verdict when justice for all.
All right. So the ekokoba and say what you meba on hold your mommy. Okay. So the ekokoba and say akola no mokwa enyemo no ne akola ne whatever cause nyina no. They went and do your friend is saying paternity test and it came up say eye bema no eba no. Na boss lady no ye no vat nani anya o manya that part no na asif say ase na the boss lady ni hwehwe nyina ne say anka enkoye bema no na anka asem de na asem ko. But judge no man no choice say you can decide to say obehwe akwala no, that's up to your choice, or you can decide to say unhwe akwala no. So for the boss lady to know to me no say nanka we decide say opese uhunu say akwala de ye wo ukunu a wawu no eba nkasa no, then what opese u take a certain responsibility be e wa akwala no. Who professor say ukunu no ye the love of your life. If say ukunu no ye the love of your life, na se wakoye ade a etisisi na oni ho a, you can take care of the love of your life. You can decide to say bia onkwaja akwala no, but just because of say love na wo ma ukunu no. Na ukunu no so what a little life, just a piece of love kakra be for a different person will go to extend this on na one there. Give a little love to no say onfa nwa akwala no. Because say akwala no ye woni wi a Umana 3 girls is 2 girls now more no. You will let the girls know say omunuane akwala ya lady nani no enyem no. Ubema umana hunu. That is the reason why I now pay paternity test no. Ubema na umana hunu. So would you love it? And I say a boss lady nebeya wo de. Se umana be hunu se omunua ayon papa ba. Wankasa na wo decide say oma hunu. Ebeye de, ebeye ode, se akwala no atiti apansam eta baabia. Would you love it ana? I don't think say ehu hia say nka be love no. So many boss lady na I will go to extent and say that's fine. The harm has already been done. What else? Yentimi nya ho hwe. Enipa titiri no kra yeka no ho asa nipa na wu. So what else can I do? Go ahead, I'll support you to give birth. We are you don't know. But them kwala they have the right to come and see their siblings every time. I was all friend me my ready with me afre ababe simu na also ode wadwenkyere adiaba e was I would this judge was the judge fair in the dealings with say why nisika no amfa ma your friends and lady nana because say yeah, the emotions are set in here dear. And then now also say the lady was saying say the part of it in the crowd the buy and say na crash or walk on crampon ne ho kire no onisika onya adwuma osanyem onyim 6 months aka 3 months enti nanka judge no say obenya ope say wode sympathy bi wode yi bi na kandia nanka esesenka agolozo mechia o baby a wo bia nanka so wusa nya sympathy kakra de ma nani no say the way no wa nya de because truly no when you look at nani in the face wa regret it, whatever she did the way no wa regret it entirely wa regret pa e won life mu enti this time no because it's our regret no yes I punish ni bi mu say okay na dwuma na okoye no krampo no so because say okoye senti yantua woka so why don't you pay na if there is any other way bi wo ho say was ye de punish ya yemfa punish no so person we see you no say aba be fa ukuna go ahead and do that but adwuma na particular now be no being unprofessional no say onu kunu abeda no doesn't mean say na onye professional in adwuma oye no say adwuma no mu nanka ne bi adwuma no na teachema say me ka me de me masha won say bi ni kunu no nka ye friend saying omo a ye de share na adwuma die na ye ka so ni kunu ne nka ho bi ta me ka se senka ye mane ye clear ewo ayi no mu contract no mu say adwuma na wo beye no me kunu ne ka ho bi and another case no ni kunu no was an employer also and okay what if say ni kunu no say nani no buy na nko no so be kan say okay me feel say this wasn't also part into me see ni kunu no in a certain way say wama ya fire me how would this gonna go? Hello Gifty.
Hello, bro. Happy Siapa.
I think committee pa me mete won kan che papa.
I think the third that's what you came.
Amen.
No one can.
Amen.
Me patrol, bro. Be say, see, I will be say,
Uh-huh.
lady now regretting tea or say, start punishing and bro.
Aha men ka say yen sam punish no. I was say pardon no because we regret it.
No, ain't it just share BBC or Columbus, a kata for you, no more cousins. Or more kuna, but I could not share one share that. And they before no shooting in no shooting in Yano, or shooting a cousin, we now we know. So no one is far from and of fair police for my best. Then no, I regret you. Into I regret Antony, I pardon no. Because I now say now I'm not what regret no. Girl no. Nipa ni chimo dear or yes, you know.
Hey.
Because there's a time and a place for everything. The fact say that day now or cancer, I'm not crash. No, or you're selfish or you're not any interest though. No, interest say I could know about on some company he can say the woman is well off. Ah, it's the woman no be kuna for trim plant. You know, so one our home or no, the or no, assassin the shade guarantee and for mount. Wa cross the professional lines are quite to say home health aid that a woman brow me the meba a woman say are you tolerative one the client can do this are you then if no sad things about you kind of say suban your day I don't know say your attributes so if you me tolerative me say meaning say word na ma kan dia entini na no obe ansa ni nyina e hwere say ebia we otimi use racial slurs or use awubunfu oti obetinye didi waton ya awubunfu santu na nkwada ade nso ebe wom say obeye tolerative obeye say ontimi nko obi fie now on professional lines no whether is certification enye bibia na ebi obi akwaje ho school wa say certification kwa na ode ye na ni ne krampo na wakọ obi fie na won ne etwe mpona and on they were across the professional lines na any kwan sen for yes sir na dey nti na ekrom ha mo two consenting adults na wo adwuma mu krampa na so mo kotwe mpena akra eno kwa yetimi twe o maso sane no krampo nke beka so mo nya de consent no bi en repeat obi ayate e ho ase eno no de ne wontimi nya saa muti adwuma mu kwa mate se enya hanko a adwuma mu kwa Ghana kra yesi e wo ho uyo oba ne okunu krampo a you are not allowed to work under the same, you can work in the same organization say bia me adwuma wo east side where you adwuma wo the north side no but the same place ne kwa yempene. And the fact say, oh, no, what you to say, oh, nanny, no, oh, nanny, no, there are some attributes, or whatever be you must meet, oh, to me, ban you be kunum be trim pana. Now, some are can crumpled, even the timing now can't send the chairman, and what you say, she's very selfish. Or no, or dream or no, so she couldn't have waited any time to tell the lady that day in all can't chairman, and I think so catch and say she is well off. Mamma, if it can send be say. Mama efe ka asem bi say papa bi sikani bi owuye. Na papa no na hwe ne mani na ma ne mani na yesikafo. So she thought say he thought say ne mani na yesikafo nti no or the ne property no. Emma youngest wife no worrying at the time no the properties man thinking say oh some of them ye dada. Almost no. Yanya ne sa oye papa nkwa de papa na ewudi oye papa nkwa de we also want a piece of your papa yi enka papa no kwa mo bibi kwa mo nka say enso papa ma ye bibi so omo de papa no omo de man no na area no ne ti ase na ode ejapade ni ja omo de ne court e ma omo so konya a piece of that ono odwe ne ho say papa ma me ne de wa ye dada nti ono girl no na dwe mbone e na abo ne so na adwene ne so akochia ebusua bi ma sike bi wo mu nti no me ne papa ne twem pena akora me so menya bibi ama me ba and unfortunately papa ne wu nti the only thing she can do said the lawyer ne kan say is to sue the estate nti ade ne de we di ni pepepe enya emotional we say bia na papa ma me ne de ye asem no papa na na ma me ne di no
me pa cho ma me musa wo enti shena me ba cho omo contract amo sign and ya mfa nche musa untimi mafi ho metwempena ya mfa nche musa
bro obi ani me bi ho ma black and white nti person no so no ye sheda nkanka ho ansa na aka say we share you cannot
because o say all be me ba o say all be fie ho no it wasn't intention say oba be fall in love to
oh bra obi asem na okay bra obi enti say bi o aha say ma fa o say bra be hwe wonim say krom ha ma e bia maka cho say bra be hwe me papa me papa na e bia nya say e bia na adwum nka o krom ha ade a eye efum emra kese ne say e bia obi a na adwum ka no na wo ba ye no wo take advantage say na adwum ka no fine ma o be fa me o be hwe me papa na adwum nka no but e bia wo MS then there's sclerosis. Enti na ma sesi ano aye week bi kakra. Oba ye no, what falling in love with me papa. Enya obi an adwum ka no. You don't even need it in the contract and sign a work and say that is you crossing profession. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Lady ne can say na obi sam say said that any contract nim.
Oh yeah, na just obey it just happened naturally.
Okay. Na say okay means me so no manya ma adwen say o papa no me ba se me ba be hwe o papa no me ba ye no manya ma adwen sa but some way somehow na falling in love with no about me ba ye no me bi epo no o fifi ma me papa no are you serious you almost say so dey bi obi ahia ne do de ba it cannot be o untimi nya ne sa o lady no you're very insensitive. The time now can on never no ordering who akura no ocean ne ban ne yemu no ordering who. No one has every right to be heard.
Then now it's also ordering akwala ne. I mean, come on.
I was ordering akwala no is it not for her selfish reasons. I was so catch my meaning that day na another time no catch papa and was it the right way na right time and also catch
that I understand it sir it wasn't the right way but the judge could have been a little bit we feel empathy be the man on nanka waji says
and no one else God emotional I feel never say God ni emotional
why emotional on one side
emotional God no emotional asamna na wadi ni pepepe na emotional sanka God ni emotional anko beka say oh yeti ase dia say ja ono ne dia no yen consider ono say ma me ne dia wa ye dada ma me ne dia she is well to do nti ono mom na ne ho kire no the cheek of it. Who baba ya ade we say wo wie ya wo san so ka say wo na ho kire nti na wo hia sika no
wo susu say judge na di There also
we be a some fairly and quite emotional. For no moment, Uncle Becca say, oh, see, and said the girl back on playing on the no, she wanted to play on the emotions of the way say no. Of the dad me to say, Semina me hot me. Ah, my coffee fear crassia banana me could have a trimp. Oh, bano, crow, South Wogan say, I fear had the air do. Men should send papa, me no crampa come, Miss Mena be Biama. And to what dream, one in our dream thing. Well, it could be love because I don't care, whatever it is. So far as who send you pan what trust or say brand bet none fee, never be shenny. Many dear brow now can be said by men and or shen qualani ye na den day. And that's how the professional quite say, yeah, or be a nurse. Nurse, no. Would you man say what post no book my dear, but I was also any that kind of compassion, my
Gifty what
your mind, and on I can't do man. So what no doesn't excuse any me.
Okay, what am 5 minutes into do bit me aquaba?
Me that's it, bye.
Nana Bacho, hold on, mammy, 1 second. So what became Kwalani ya? Why not to say funny sikano emano? Sabi or no basu or Bejini sikana moma kakofa your friend is saying infidelity ni immorality samudi ababe kwano say because of that into the moon first sikana mano. It is and Kwalani ya, why don't you give the money to no? Now, there's a more be a mobile a chin and or infidelity one. More candy a chin and him rather than some more punishing is any can so obey a juano. Young for man, and I'm batch of bread, mammy.
But that's Obi. Say, Judge Bidia Samuel. Now, say, or man judgment, we the only thing wa edibu a wono ufi say ubitimi aye and say ubitimi akọ appeal court. Na wako appeal to the judgment no baby I want to see o kan niema mienu bi a na very important. The judge made mention of willpower. Say adentina maame no antimi anse ne willpower. Hello.
Yeah, me also na Ethiopia.
Yeni kan and consider the contract na maame no ne papa no ye no. The contract no was held to be a nanny. So me hwen kwa no so abuse nkwa no a e na ka waye bone papa no ka contract no
exactly na me da
papa no ka contract no and the two when I can beginning no say in criminal law no ade a ye friend no say adultery enye crime na me mamo one example case study na ye friend papa bi François Mitterrand na oye prime minister ewo France na on yere Mitterrand Ekofa ma me bia efe no an Pinjo ene ne wo akwa de fe Mazarin Pinjo osan kofa ma ba ko fe Christian Afoni ene ne wo akwa de fe no Foni tan kwa bi no nyina no owo omo no na na yere kwa ninda na mo no an Pinjo no ekofa obi a na oye PI personal investigator e ma o recordo one papa no affair ne obebre wo mu a time of François Mitterrand wu ye no ena maame ne ba bonten say Mazarin Pinjo no ba bonten say one papa no e wo babaya eti omokoye niema nyina die ni hu say nokoye no François Mitterrand estate no wo no sankwa no omunya omo part fine okay uni hello
yeah me you also na Ethiopia omuti
yeah eti e case study akwa me dey ma ade ba ko judge no kan ya mi de eye DND na o recommend ye no na another aspect of judge no ya ade ne say already the rule no obia any say Steve eja well or na wanya well ina hu Steve well na momo no o say na ni no pa obetimi akosiu the estate of Steve which is the right thing or yeah say DND no prove say akra no ye Steve Badia and Steve property will be ano sa akra no e wo right e wo bi wo mre ko ma memba ko siu estate no na o kan say nya de ye easy because say wunya a very good lawyer pa or ye very good e wo estate law na odibam na no lawyer no na de obi jaso kese pa no e the proof of DNA say the paternity of akra na ya wo by nani no e bi do mutu Steve uka se baako say time a maame no beka asem no time no is very good no that time no dey need to be considered unim ni asema hye no so ho mpempen so a obe kana bonten no eye nse so kese do bia fe de ontime mmena asem no biu ba bia duru no ye Steve ba bia duru no ye kasa beti kura nti o twan ya ma Steve akopura wie mfie ba dio no aso bra se me ne oba daddy so make the intention no say this is what I have with Steve na me ya say minia ma binum e kasa etia nani no we unim Steve am for so maame no one maame no e buy into conclusion maame no can say me say Steve can say one no e be start a different family
yes
at dem bia ho kwan say o yere otunye mistress emre bia no etia na mom sa mistress no wontimi fa ne nko court enkoware no fa ne nka wo yere ho na mom obetimi na tena ne na twempena ne na wo mo a enkwa no be papa no din papa no waja pade bia enkwa no bi because almost so papa no se papa no ma eti for the woman to come out tell go say Steve no there it doesn't matter but the only thing na we say contract now ne ma me ne ye no yeah adia it's a unilateral contract. And no, and this a contract here, medical doctors are now lawyers. I swear, because medical doctors and lawyers know they almost swear in respect to their clients.
Okay.
But here, no, contract upon here, no, any contract here, now, a swear and say, me swear, say, win. A contract or demand a do my summer heading mark. It's between my men and Crano. Se maame no fefe nkra no bi ne sa wo nkra no bi twetwe nkra no bi dia nka maame na go beyond the contract no nka mra no ni bedi na amom no se wo yo ba warefo na wampe form o task no fie hwe obi mini bank manager o na ne yere eye lawyer e wo Ghana maame no nimre edemani kuru no ntino be ma no pon aduma na oton kan doko no e wo lolo kwan chen na nka doko wura no sabi producer o he standard ya na ka onye papa no standard kura o he ma papa no yira na oware no e den kan dokun wura no a but eduru mmiri bi papa no e benya ado de man kan dokun wura no because oduru wa kwan o faso chesin kan dokun no oh papa na dem say special one de ma wo no chesin de amano de kusini kam no kampuna tu no ye ko ba no no ma me mo case study bi in 1992 time one your first republic, fourth republic, no. Hello.
Be was upon Nakasa, yet you.
Now your first minister be. No, you're minister for Western Housing. I mean, money, but my can't do my lawyer. No, your NDC time, no, your minister.
Okay.
Now, a Koba say, now, paranoia teacher me, headmaster, I will go so. And I was standing here, and not the bar parliament to be in a ministerial position. It's not a ma. Ghost one of us have been according to some people, no, almost just say a pro some pro to tell apparently. Now, so part by no, only made the better feel oh, shut up, no, near pa now get made no on it now, or no, me, allegedly, by news now, Ghana. So, papa no, I made, you know. So, say, Obama, I your peace. When you fear or sticking somewhere, it always happens. Right? Eti, my man, judge, even though said the emotions, a career, look a crack, a wash him, or your bar, it's in the uncle bar, and yasem. Eti, say, the emotion career, no, fine, and their sentiment. Now, the moment here, sentiment, paper judgment, the only way, why that's an deal, which I that's a appeal court. But the judgment in the perfect say what some I'm in a choir on Faso says, oh, Steve, a dapper need a madia, and know the Quanaco sue the estate of Steve.
Nane, before some economy Musawo, Adia Nani need to buy and say, Nisika last money na a Kamununi Yanyamano.
I don't know, so I don't know, judge me right or. To the sense, say, and yet about Kunafono, eligible to Yanika, Steve.
That Nana, a nanny no cofa, my men on a cofa, nanny in Befio, just in Steve Nanny.
Yes, Unim, here no, so could sue the estate of Steve now, and also by a part of an account to be. Say, at this time to this time, in Jamaica.
Enti na lawyer we judge we no ni ho kwan se nka so ogisa sika ne de ma no.
There be unim and I'm kind of say judge to say me judge to say obi. Sometimes o yiri kwaka say ukokrom na oba ayafa shop na ebe ya iho no na tomire eni nyadwa ne nkuto fabra. Utimi kai tomire nyadwa na we free nkuto no, right? Eti oye nipa enoti edwam. Eti sometime no obetimi aye ade e fa no error. Eti e fa no bi o ha miscarriage of justice. Kwan of fast so obu asem no wampe. Na mbomu no wa kire say ya DNA di abamu a kire say akwara na na o say yefunu a ya woro no oye Steve ba no. The only way ni say ma me no bakosiw Steve no the estate. Ena ya san consider dey ba so say omo kan ye nyina so no omo kan the will of Steve so. Eboa.
Dabi. Yankan.
Hello.
Yeah,
bia your friend dey be equity and trust e wo mrem. And the equity and trust no your friend ade be settle no say bia Steve tiase no why ye the trust dey ato say or the eja obi and the court and the man lawyer say so who are but that pade no beneficiaries anyway because we could sa na ni wo say me nenyam nti se na ni no wo akora e de ka ho bi.
Okay.
Yes, you know, Steve no settle and the settler no only make it the trust no and the trust no pet trustee di ama trustee ni betimi aye ne lawyer betimi di busuani betimi aye obi bia no de ja no say me Steve am we no me yere ye frɛ no bia Ida so otena me ni ho a me da pade we say no monfa ma beneficiaries we me ma kojo me nsamfa we me yere kwoti me yere Ida mfa we na me ba me ne nani we anyeme na ne nsamfa we ma no. It is a man who Steve estate no. It is there any akọhia who say Steve interstate and as well.
Okay.
It is interstate ya. O may be our number Ghana you frame the PNC law 111, right? So interstate ya. So we were in your way la. E ho na yede samra no natural justice mra 111 no yede bam so okay so ofie ba ko a e ma ne yire dia o ofie mienu a abusia o part ewum se o ye adwuma a ko pension a ne sika no nya ye no abusia part ewum eti the judge no di asem no de onye mfumso ono de akire se na odi na abamu no a bibia akire se akra no ye Steve ba no ma me no committee any crime authority any crime ena two love no follow the man Steve no ayen sem bia Steve catchere no na yen consider wo yenya ye nipa sabi obi what was see yi oba bi betimi ahia wo de wa kan sem bia wa hwe ya wo ne beda wo mra wo kai were ana meboa
ene krepa
say mahu obi a wahia oba bi ma oba na kan nsem obi ahia be ma bi be ma na catchere ne say wo de ma ho kwan say wo de uni kunu me na me yere me de me yire no me pe no o me yire de na nso me say ma me ne wontina ma me yire nhu o amehwew me si fie kura ma wo e happen bebre
right
esi da bia tamwa professor Thomas wuye ye hu bi abenti bia masede papa no
Rollins cry we say be bye
Rollins wuye oba kokoko kama bi akwaro hwe da nimu na so hwe esnato animu a difference bi anim neboa entanfo me no okumase oba abode Rollins mani omo na omo de omo nya prepare so wa fight for ni property bia meboa esi yesi aboka nkabi so wu a eni ehu ni mpati a wo obi ya kan nyina yi ochila mbeto form ana beto form kwa bo bia bakra say eye me ba ana say obi ba ebetimi asi me nka asa wu ye bidi me say ebetimi asi enti no judge no the judgment no was very perfect. My minimum na uncle lawyer, no uncle sue the estate, no uncle sue estate no. That's okita the DNA report na free an authentic place. It just say ya my minimum right. My minimum DNA right. I will see with the padim. Now mum ne bano de I will right. I will see with the padim. It was really.
Nana me da say I was for nana na moten kan me ma no time kakra in a sense say nana lawyer ni kese UK enche wo ba bonten onya ba law honsem de mo beti bi ewo ahapa enti na me pese me ma na kwan na o chekere ensem no mu nyina yie said a bear ye behunu said ye etie ewo aha my main kind a message from Leslie kakra ewo na yentoa so abusua wo pese ofra bomodna na efre me na mema wo aba so. Let's just say the only regret because that okay no my kind or say she only my kind no and aha so or say Sister Gift is right. She was for her own best and trust and everyone else. Maybe she saw what the man and his wife had and she wanted that selfish. She wanted that selfish. Okay. Leslie, easy. And I make I say it depended there. Papa no ekachire no. She brought that upon herself, infidelity or not. She brought that upon herself. She could have dated outside. Why must it be in the house and to a married man? Leslie, the more a nipa uni nipa etna, the more na yana unya a certain attachment to be with the nipa no. Especially say nipa ni a good person na or treat you good at. The more na uni nipa no etna no, that is whereby unya love any affection for nipa no. Aware a yɛware mpena a yɛtwe any adeɛ nyinaa no most of the time no ukomu a ya na unhunu sɛ ɛyɛ true love na wokɔ anaasɛ nyɛ true love but the more best starting nipa na tena no even krampo ni sɛ na wopɛ ne sɛ deɛ kora na ɔne ne tena na o starting ho nneɛma bi a ɔyɛ a ɛyɛ contradict to deɛ na wɔhwehwɛ anaasɛ end go for you anaasɛ ubon sɛ na love a wo ma nipa no na ɛfiri hɔ na emomu no se oyɛ de wopɛ ma wo or start say uhun different ways nipa na misusu say but say na wote a na ɛyɛ ma me a then you become attached to that person. It's a one thing for you to say ebia wakoshia baby na no this is the person na onini na netifie and moreover no krampo no eyere no kra no boss lady na nkasa kra no probably no lady ne can say oni ho na otu kwan a ono ne take care of the ekoso nyina enti ewomu se we outside and wabewura mu yes ewomu se waba be cause infidelity yes I understand that but sometimes na me kase put myself into the situation also na mo hwade ewu so what I say put myself me de ne say esese nka ye disika no ma no na senior mechia o Erika yebo a mechia wo nso esese nka ye disika na okọ request ye ne ma no sika na okọ request ye ne is different from the affairs na one papa no be have ewu fie ho no but just out here because okọ ye say o se ma ye adwuma sabi adwuma na okọ ye no whereby say o se o tu fie ho pepepepepe o clean ono aduane o hwe nkwala no se nea ese that is different and no so ne ka so o meye that is different from sabi se one ukunu abetwempana amananyem enti wobetimi atua ne ka na mmom ne se wo ani ada bibi tia no concerning me susu se anka boss lady ne betumi ne natwe whereby a o ba begina sa paternity test ne so abaka se okay me ba no eye wukunu ne ba enti no yen go to that extent no me pese me begya japade ni bi eno de na boss lady no wo ho kwan se obekọ any kind of law a protect e bi japade a wo osusu se sebi ensese akola ne ba mu bia but na djuma let's separate adwuma na obeye no fie ho no from se ɔne papa no bɛdaeɛ no. Let's separate that together. Na yɛntua ne ka from that. Na afei sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛdɛm no whereby a waba fie hɔ ɛne papa na bɛda anyem dia ɛne ne yɛdɛm no wɔ hɔ no. So what man say kɔba sɛ yɛsi yɛmfa sika ne ma no because sɛ wo ne papa na bɛda. That part no is just a common ayi na nka wɔso wo hu na wa hu. That part wasn't part of the contract. Say wo mu sɛ yɛde hyɛmu or de hyɛmu sɛ ɛhyɛ ha. This is a clause ya highlight sɛ wo ba fie hɔ abɛhwɛ me ma no. Wo ba fie hɔ abɛsiesie hɔ no. Wo ba no aduane ama me no. Hwɛ na wo ni me kunu na ana. Sɛ wo ni me kunu no ɛda day a me hu no me di kan kan adeɛ no is nullified. Ye cancel contract no. Usika aka mu bia no. Memfa ma. And or sign ya. That is a different ball game here. So what you say? But yan kasa yen nipa ya ye wo we ne de ya adwene susu se. You have to be a judge and adwene no a problem this susu say you have to be professional enough to know say you're going to be a nanny. You're not going to be a side chick. And I say, oh, mama, tare me kunu ho. Just because to say your mouth the opportunity say betene fie ho. One thing leads to another that could have come. Sadly, no could have come in. That is where initially me started program na make say, yeah, ma enyoma ye good no and blinded yen from thinking straight and judge right. And I say yem putu nyoma bia ye for say a positive nkwa na betimi happen, negative ne far from us. Ebi ameka say ewu a nipa wi obia mene ne bekasa na so obia wote ha bia o for say ewu ye far from no than say be happen to no. But enyoma my own experience, people that I have lost in my life or no tells me say owo no ben me since say me hu no. So I can die at any time. It didn't be a me wo ho me psyche my mind. I don't think the psyche my mind is I can lose my loved one at any time. And this is here a be me yade but nam say na me nim say a possibility ninti no. It's not going to drain me because so wo hwe boss lady na asem na draining no I ya because of full say it was far from happening, which was a mistake now because wakofa lady oba son no succulent edina betena ukunu hwina no wakofa nam ede aba besi jata ene sebo moja nam ade abesi jata ne sebo anim thinking said or you trusted into wontimi enwe sabi senka ye bema na akofa ne ba fie hom pa enu de nka me no be ya adwene se bema no so betimi aba be ye eyi no de ka me no be ya adwene kakra because me yonko bema de me mfa nsusu se sabi omo be kwa akoye eyi hwan ne de yekoso yi bi because me kunu ntesa but wakofa opposition na ade na ba fie ebia me ka opposition a ya na nkofo ntemase but ema eye opposite of us. What you say? Adia eye like terms no attract it. Eye opposite attract each other. Se kobasa like terms ta attract ya. In a certain situation ya na ye taboo. Eti wakofa opposition di na bafie. Efia bema wom. And you think it's a bema no eye won kwa na wo ho kwan. Wan kofa obia sebi anko base. Mikru hu na we dia onhwe no ayikura na ni achi se kura onfa nhwe. Wakofa obia wukunu hu na otwam a obesan de nani chiw se asa hwe na chiri kakra sei. Nso hwe na wo pe. Ade ama wukunu. Na apese wo hu bibi e na wahu no. Woti ase e na wahu no. Oba ne ba fie ho no Nani ne ba fie ho no nso so no wahu se no te se de mo kan ye no efie we se mba bepie mu a enye den a me ba no ebetimi aye den se meni ho kra me ba no bedi yie kakra wa ha onya aboa so ti ase e na yasan infuse nyoma bi wona adwene mu ama na adwene na ye ne han se even kra na ompeso obeya Mr. Steven no atimi capture na adwene including enyoman nketinketi bi a obeya ama no including se obehwe one ne mano ayonkofa bi one ne mano situation mu embaba na nya do e di ama no di mesre se ma ya ama mo nye a little bit nyoma we I intentionally brought this for you to be aware what can happen. So what am I say? For you to know say enyoma awususu say ntimi nsi wa wabrabo mu no e ben wo say besi rather than you think. E ben wo say besi easy to happen more than you think. Oba bi wo ho no mo a ne nafofo nyi ne kunu mu nyina yi ha ukunu no. Or say, how do you trust your kids with a man around? Gifty mente o question no ase. So what you say? Especially me de bia me can say especially me memma onam fofo hwan men ukunu. I don't care say ne ukunu ni sitie. Don't care say ne onam fofo ni tie. Memma omu room. That is how I should mean can say memma omu men no. But memma room for them so bit me operate. Ko yen memma no. Yeti ho no ye pa ye dida o. Sofo kra o pa ye. Nti me eba saa mamu mblemu yen. Ko ye ho no nya adwene no no. Ne mumu no se mokofa besie ni mu dia ene ye benya saa adwene no. E be ma ne bebre ya mo yese na na guye si be ma de masa jade okeka no. Tina ho na so okeka saa nsem na ya na mehwe mudin. Jade okeka no. Wote jai de okeka no. Ye mema. Azamba mu fa munsia medam asese mo hweye. Obi a obehwe me bia no ene anyimre no medawase. Ye frame obi GS page suni. Nana me chiawo medase. Gifty medase sa ofre. Leslie see ede ne comments by Leslie. Medase sa ode comments ne by. Sometimes ya na monfre kakra. Leslie me pese eduru ba bia metie wa no ne kasa enso so. Ya na wafre na wachire wadwene because enunti na sa program yi ewo ho. Erica mechiawo baby a wo bia medase se wo hwe me agolozo mechiawo mo a mo hwe me nyina mo a mo ba so be contribute ye nyina mehia mo meda mo nyina mase mo nhye na enko animo emfama me na me adom na mre eba mu na yenya other story a ye de beba na ya ba be share so wonso na wo story concerning any ayibia na opese yedi ho enkomo a Mr. Otomenkra mema wabuso Gifty.
Yes, time and the cancer now can say one cofa or baba bet now on our pussy then I'm person say I mean won't mean dream say you'll be no kube ever have you offend you confirm mema bema or be molested or banner ending.
Oh yeah, ne de metiasie sa. But what I'm saying is say unkonkofa oba se omra mehwe unkola wa bra bema wo ho a ubeluse guard sa. That's all that I was trying to say.
That's what I say.
Why Mr. Wa so what
No
decide say
problem.
ubeye bia Mr. don't lose guard. Menka se menkofa boka kofa bad I was say lose guard sa. E man sem fa wase na abeye surprise. Why?
That's it. Yeah. Bye bye.
All right, that's it.
nya
The
other
Ebusia,
story a yɛde
Muma Memfa Munsia, Nyame Aduma, Yebesan Shebi, Madame Yamasi, a frame movie, Muma by.